Remind yourself in your offices and in your life, if you're a master communicator, then you got to make sure that you commit to the vitality track and not the cancer track. Do you remember what the difference was between those two? I'll give you a little reminder here. The cancer track is what most people do who destroy their relationships, their businesses, and their personal life. And what it is, when we have an expectation and it doesn't get met, what kind of state do we usually go into? Depressed, what else? Frustrated, angry, disappointed, disillusioned, what else? Hurt, okay? And we go into the basically emotional states that we've got patterns of going into. Most people have a disillusioned state or hurt or angry. What's the first thing most people do? As soon as they got an upset, they immediately look for somebody to lay blame on. True or false? True. And does that usually make it better, yes or no? Does that build a better team? Does that create a quality environment with quality communication and quality results, yes or no? No way. And by the way, people don't just blame, like, let's say, the doctor or their staff members. Most people do blame others, but some people just blame themselves. Does blaming yourself motivate you to really become better? Rarely. And some people don't blame themselves, they blame circumstances. Well, it's not my fault, it's because this and this and that. You know, the truth of the matter is we can always find a reason why something isn't working. But the bottom line is we have to be responsible for the results. Now, what do some people do? They go, okay, well, now that I'm done laying blame, that's not enough. I'm angry, and I need to make sure I feel justified, so they go to step 2. They justify and complain to other people. Go out there and subgroup. We talked about this before. Now, how many have seen this happen in your office amongst anybody in the last 60 days? Let's see some honest hands. How does it feel, again, when somebody, let's say, talks behind your back? When somebody subgroups, so 2 people get together and say, oh, so-and-so's there. How does that feel to you? If you keep doing that, what's going to be the ultimate impact on your relationships? It's going to destroy them. It's going to screw them up royally. You've got to stay out of that place and promise yourself and commit not to subgroup. And if you've got an upset, who should you handle that upset with? That person directly. Third thing people do is after they get enough people, and they all say, yeah, I'm upset too. By the way, what are your chances of finding somebody else who's upset? Somebody else whose expectations are not been met. What's the chances of finding somebody like that? About 100%, right? It's called life. Then what happens? You get these people together and you sit down and resent and brew, right? And get worse and worse and more angry until finally what somebody does is usually confront somebody. And they say, look, I was honest, and they didn't respond. Confronting is not the style we want to use. And lastly, what most people do is after they confront is they give up and seek revenge. We don't want to do that. We want instead, as master communicators, to go for the alternative we talked about last time, which is the vitality track, which is where you get excited and appreciate the feelings that you're having. Where immediately you say, okay, I got these feelings, they're intense, I feel angry or upset. That's exciting. I need to appreciate the fact that my brain is telling me that I need to change something. Because we all found out last time, negative emotions are a signal. They're a call to what? Do you remember? Action. If you got negative emotions, something's hurting. What it's saying to you is you need to change either the way you're looking at this, your perception, or you got to change your actions. The way you're doing it, the way you're communicating, the way you're making requests. So if you're feeling negative feelings, you don't want to feel bad about it. You want to say, okay, this is great. This is my brain trying to give me a note. I need to get curious about what is it that I really need right now. And I need to think of what else could this situation mean. I'm really upset about it, but what else could it mean? Maybe the doctor raising his voice to me, or her voice to me, isn't they don't care about me. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe I ought to see if I can support that person. Maybe I need to soften the way I'm feeling about this and not say I'm devastated, but say, you know, I'm a little frustrated with the way they're treating me. Maybe I need to go and communicate as soon as possible to that person that, you know, I know they have good intent, and I'd really appreciate it if they changed their style of communicating with me because it just doesn't feel good, and I want to support them. And if I do that enough and I focus on meeting this person's needs, I'm going to probably meet my needs. So as a master communicator, what we're doing is controlling meaning, and we're making sure that when we have negative emotions, we don't see them as a negative. We see them as a call to action, a chance to change.
We spend a lot of time talking about mindset from the standpoint of think positive so positive things happen. And I do believe in having a positive mindset, obviously. I think that the actions that you take are way more important in terms of developing that mindset. But we don't spend enough time on what you were just talking about, which is understanding how the automatic nature of worrying about stuff all day long, how that is making you less money, how it is making you less happy, how it is disconnecting you from your spouse, how it is keeping you unhealthy, and how it is a habit that robs you of joy and opportunity and power. And it is one of the easiest habits to break.
I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live.
Walk through your home, your business, your apartment, your condo, anything you're in charge of, and make a list of all the things that aren't exactly the way you want it. There's never a stapler by the Xerox machine. Someone always leaves that cabinet open. My kid never picks up after himself. Those pictures are always slanted. They never stay straight. The screen door slams. There's a hole in the window. You know, whatever it is, write it down. And then go back, and here's the key part. Remember, in law of attraction, we always focus on what you want, not what you don't want. So what you want to focus on is the opposite of your irritation list. There'll always be a stapler by the Xerox machine. But the key is there's always solutions. The pictures that won't stay straight, Velcro, right to the wall, on the bottom. It works, you know. But the point is, you want to get a list of what's the outcome you want. And then take a day, hire a person or bring a friend over and go through the list and get as many done as you can. You know, all the easy ones. Build some momentum. Clean the garage, develop a new filing system. That might be something you set off to another weekend. And we say all the big ones that are really big, do one a quarter. Every 3 months, solve one of those. Now you're getting rid of all the stuff in your life. And why is this so important? We're talking mostly about being wealthy, having great relationships, great health, world peace, ending hunger, and you're talking about the screen door. When you don't fix the screen door, you settle. And when you settle consistently, you develop a habit of settling for what you don't want. And most people go through life in resignation. They've resigned themselves to not having it the way they want it.
The key to unlock the door to success, the key is called questions. And the better questions you ask, the better doors of opportunity you unlock. And I am committed to talking to you about how to ask the right questions and questions you need to ask yourself, which will be in another session. And in this session, I want to talk to you about the value of questions. Because this is so huge in our lives that when we begin to understand what questions will do for us and the value in return we get from them, we're going to become committed to asking questions. When you think of leadership, you think of direction, you think of vision, you think of somebody pointing the way and saying, this is the way I want you to go. Isn't that true? But what I want you to understand today is behind every vision that is cast, behind every pointed finger that gives a direction and saying, let's go this way, behind all of that impetus of leadership are good questions. I have a rule of 5. And my rule of 5 is something that I do every day. And I don't have time to teach the rule of 5, but basically the rule of 5 says, you need to know what your strength is, and when you know what your strength is, you need to do 5 things every day that will take that strength and make it greater. And in my rule of 5, one of my things I do every day is every day I ask questions. The person that gets to ask the most questions and the person that gets to ask the best questions is the person that always wins. Because can I tell you something? I've never learned anything when I was giving direction, but I've learned everything when I ask questions. So let's talk about it. The first value of questions, I'm so excited about this. The first value of questions is this. You only get answers to questions you ask. You only get answers to questions you ask. If you don't ask the question, guess what? You don't get the answer. And I learned a long time ago, it's better to look uninformed than to be uninformed. I watch people all the time. They want to look good, so they're afraid, well, this question is this may be a stupid question. This may be a foolish question. I wonder if I ask that question, what are the rest of them going to think about? Are they going to know? Are they going to know that I don't know something? How many of you have ever thought of a question you really wanted to ask, but you thought maybe it was a stupid question, and so you didn't ask it? Would you raise your hands?
It's like your life doesn't end up in an accident. Your life is a series of actions that you initiate or don't initiate. And that your thoughts are going to control that roadmap. And so how are you using your mind today to either make yourself feel great or not? I posted on Instagram this morning. I said, listen, your destiny is ultimately controlled by a decision you already made this morning. Everyone watching this already made a decision this morning. This morning, they made it a life-changing, huge decision this morning. And that is either I'm going to get up, enter the world with no intention, go through the motions to hopefully get by or survive, or I am going to get clear in this morning about what I want, what I'm going after, who I'm going to be, how I'm going to serve, and whether or not I'm going to be excellent and extraordinary or not. And the problem is most people never make that conscious decision. So I was learning early on, make the conscious decision about who you want to be each day, stay congruent with that. And that was, for me, a kid who was just going through the motions, all of a sudden going, oh, who do I want to be? What do I want my relationships to be like? That was really important. And then I started setting personal challenges every month. At the beginning of each month, I do this whole thing where I holistically evaluate my life, first of every month. And it's like these 10 different categories of my life, from emotional to relational to financial to, career, mission, objectives, all these things. I go down that on the first of the month, just kind of a holistic viewpoint of my life. And then I set a personal challenge and a professional challenge. And I do that every month. Every Sunday, I revisit my progress. Every Sunday. For 23 years. So it's not like I'm just, one day ended up in a happy life. It was like that level of self-evaluation that most people avoid until their birthday or New Year's. I do it every Sunday and every first of the month. And I don't ever miss. And I think that has helped me kind of know what my thing is. Because I don't think I'm super special. It's like what I help people do, and this is chapter 1 of High Performance Habits, right? Seek clarity. The only reason I get to work with all these people you mentioned is because they're at a new level in their life where they're going, what is it now for me? And I help them kind of figure that out. What is it now for you about how you want to define yourself? What types of relationships you want and how deep you want to go? What is it that you want to develop as skill sets? And what is the specific service you want to provide? And I just work them through that because I've been working through that myself.
Here's what you can do with the upcoming winters of your life. The long ones, the short ones, the easy ones, the more difficult ones. Here's what you can do. Get wiser and stronger and better. Just make a list of that trio of good words. Wiser, stronger, and better. Could challenge for yourself the upcoming winters of your life. Don't you think you could read more? Pick up the scenario, pick up the books, pick up the cassettes. So I would put some stuff on cassettes so you can listen to it, put it in books so you can read it. Now putting it on video so you can see it. I'm telling you, anybody that wants to can get wise. Next is stronger. Anybody can get stronger. If you're willing to do the push-ups, you can get stronger. If you're willing to put yourself through the paces, you can get stronger. Can you develop stronger skills? And the answer is yes. Start practicing, practicing, practicing. And you can get stronger. Can you get stronger in handling life situations? Of course. But you got to go to work on yourself. You can't blame out there wishing it was easier. Wish you were stronger. Here's the last one. Get better. Anybody can get better. Language, we can all get better. I've been lecturing now for 33 years, and I'm telling you, today versus 33 years ago, I'm better. First time I gave a talk, I stood up, my mind sat back down. I've been through that whole deal. Opened my mouth, nothing came out for a while. My knees are banging together, the sweat's pouring off my face, I'm shaking like a leaf. It's called terror, in case you haven't tried it. Those first attempts. But I'm telling you, I got through it, and I did it again, and I got through it, and I did it again, and I got through it. Now, of course, I can lecture for a few hours in one. Anybody can get better. Develop skills. Handle the upcoming winters. Don't wish away the winters. It's called naive. Wish for the skills. Wish for the strength. Here's the second major lesson in life to learn. Learn how to take advantage of the spring. Uniquely enough, spring follows winter. And pray tell how often? 6,500 times. Those are good odds. I'd gamble on it one more time. Those are good odds. Every time. You can't beat those odds. Spring is called opportunity. Another day is called opportunity. Days follow nights. How about that? And how often? Every day. But now here's what we must learn to do with opportunity. Underline 2 strategic words in that sentence. Take advantage. Just because spring comes is no sign you're going to look good in the fall. You've got to take advantage of it. You've got to do something with it. Read every book you can on what to do with your springs, what to do with your opportunities, what to do with your days, what to do with your chances. Don't miss the educational process. Don't miss the process of learning. Understand, opportunity keeps coming, but the key is taking advantage, taking advantage. Everybody in this room's got to learn to do one of 2 things. Plant in the spring or beg in the fall. And it doesn't mean you can't become a sophisticated beggar, but you don't need the reputation. Learn to plant in the spring, take advantage. And there's an urgency here on springtime because there's just a few springs, handful of springs offered to each of us. Take advantage swiftly, quickly. Don't just let the time pass. The Beatles wrote, life is very short. And for John Lennon, it was extra short. For Michael Landon, it was extra short. But life is short. At the longest, it's short. So don't just let the springs pass. Take advantage. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Seize the opportunity.
Do I get dinged up? Of course I do. You know what? No factor. No factor.
There's somebody else trying to get a scholarship. You're not the only one trying to go to Yale. You're not the only one trying to go to Harvard.
So therefore, number one is, first step is you got to live your calling. You got to decide what is it you love. Second thing is you've got to work on yourself.
What are you afraid of? Oh, I get it. You're afraid to fail. You're afraid to go back. No one said you had to go back. All you got to do is keep pushing. Forward, you may fall a few times. You may slip a few times, but that doesn't mean you quit. That doesn't mean give up. That means you must find a way, and you must make a win. You got to continue to dig deeper than you ever dig in your life. Enough is enough. Enough with the excuses, enough for being complacent, enough for giving up. This is the time to recognize your purpose. This is the time for you to recognize your truth and make the most of your life. And if you're not willing to do that, then nothing's going to happen for you. Nothing is going to give you that true opportunity to be the best of yourself.
Deal with them. You know what? You know what I hear? I hear the clock ticking. That's what I hear. And the end is nigh, and time waits for no man. And you young guns out there, 18 years old, 20 years old, 24 years old, listen. Life goes by, and it goes by quick. Don't waste those years. Don't waste them. Live them. I know that you don't think you're going to live to be 30, much less 40, but you are and you will.
You're not the only one trying to go to the NBA. You're not the only one trying to go to the NFL. And so you got to do one more push-up than they're going to do. You listen to me. It's not about, listen to me. You got to embody excellence. You got to listen to me. It only takes one extra push-up. It only takes one extra mile. It only takes one extra grade. It only takes one extra effort. It only takes one extra something to get you to where you're trying to get to. And the goal is you got to go a little further than the man who's trying to get what you're trying to get. You got to stay up a little longer. Oh, you're not hearing me. I told you, your boy get up at 3 o'clock every morning because I'm not the only motivational speaker in the world doing what I'm doing. I dare you. I dare you to try to get to success without excellence. I dare you to try to shortcut success. I dare you to try to shortchange success. It's not going to happen.
And the earlier you get in the game, the better life you're going to have. Healthier, wealthier, stronger, smarter, better. Better. And if you're an old man like me and you haven't gotten on track yet, get on track. Get on it now. Here's the deal. No complacency. No complacency. No backing off. No slack whatsoever. Fight. Fight that ticking clock with everything you got. So Like the end of a hard day, put your head down with ease. Satisfied.
There are no shortcuts to success. You can't go around it. You can't go under it. You can't go over it. The only way you can get to it is through it. And so you got to embody excellence. Every single day has to be excellent. Every single day you wake up, you got to give it all you got. You got it 120%. Don't fool yourself into thinking that this year is going to be better than last year if you still making excuses. There are no excuses. There are no good reasons. I told you before, man, you could cheat on your girl and probably get away with it. You might be able to cheat on your boy and get away with it. You could probably cheat in the sport. You could probably cheat in some things and get away with it, but you cannot cheat success. You cannot cheat success. You gotta work for it. You gotta breathe it. You gotta sleep it. You gotta eat it. You gotta put forth 120%. You can have it, you can be it, you can do it. But you gotta accept the challenge. Everywhere we go.
This is not a game, ladies and gentlemen. This is a reality check. Ask yourself, how far have you gone? How much have you given up yourself? Why do you wake up every morning with the same excuse? Why do you wake up every morning saying the same thing over and over again? Why do you feel you need that cup of coffee to start your day? Why do you feel you need to depend on your alarm clock to get up? When all you got to do is just get up, all you got to do is recognize exactly what it is that you need to do in your life now. This is the time you need to make up. This is the time you need to realize. This is the time you need to do the best that you can and give 110% of everything you got. Are you to be the easy person? Are you going to be the person that likes to go the easy way?
Write this down under work on yourself. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. You have a ministry and you have 300 people, that's a reflection of you. You have 2,000, that's a reflection of you. You have a job, you're generating $1,200 a year, or $2,000, or $500,000, whatever you earn, whatever you're producing in your life is a reflection of you. That's why it says, judge a tree by the fruit it bears. I can look at what you're producing and I can tell you a lot about who you are. And if you look at people who are living below their potential and sinning, and sin in the Aramaic language means falling short of the mark. I asked the question earlier, how many of you have goals? You raise your hands.
On the other side of making those healthy decisions, there is a reward. It's the reward of discipline. It's the reward of longevity. It's the reward of influence. It's the reward of power. Do you want results? Do you want a reward? Or do you want regrets? The decision is yours. It's all hard, so choose your heart. Pain is inevitable and it is unavoidable. Pick your pain. Everybody's got a plan until life knocks them out because we weren't ready for the pain. And when the pain came, we did not process it. Processing pain is a skill set you've got to acquire. It's a type of currency. If you want the future, if you want next level, if you want tomorrow, if you want to manifest.
You're going to go through the hurt, the pain, the blood, the sweat, and the tears to get exactly it is what you need. No one can get anywhere in life without hard work. And if you're not dedicating yourself, if you're not making the necessary sacrifices, then how can you get to that level that you want to be? Do you really understand what that means? Oh, I get it. You need your cup of coffee to start your day. You need your alarm clock to wake you up. When you take a breath, that is your alarm clock. You need energy to breathe a little bit more and then go to work. You need to level up and you need to go up. You need to stop being complacent. You need to stop making excuses. You need to stop thinking that you don't have what it takes when you know deep inside you can go that far. If you truly believe in yourself, you realize how many times you've said over and over again that you'll do it tomorrow.
How many of you know if you had your life to live over again, you can do more than what you've done? The majority of us raise our hands. Then that was an indication, that was testimony to reflect the fact that you operating below your potential. That's a sin. Herein my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. Didn't just say fruit, much fruit. See, when you leave here, you've got to make a commitment to be more fruitful, to be more productive, to make greater impact. So what will allow you to do that? You got to spend time working on yourself. In order to write this down, in order to do something you've never done, you've got to be someone you've never been. In order to do something you've never done, you've got to be someone you've never been. That's why Scripture says you must be born again.
If you want this thing, I don't care what it is, then you're going to have to get acquainted with pain. The pain of discipline, the pain of growth, the pain of learning, the pain of giving, the pain of forgiving. It all hurts. So pick your pain, choose your heart. Because at some juncture in life, at some corner you're going to turn, you are going to encounter pain, and you've got to process that pain well. Hear me when I say it. Pain is unavoidable. It's hard to let go of the past. It's hard to give sometimes of your time, your talent, and your treasure. It's hard to balance work life. It's hard to acquire new skills. It's hard to be stagnant. It's hard to be a workhorse. It's hard to be lazy. It's hard to learn how to manage and cultivate relationships. It's hard to learn from your experiences. It's hard to turn your mess.
You'll wait till the next day. You got time, you don't have time. Music, you want to be the best, you know what it means to be the best. You have to continue work on your craft. You have to constantly work on your craft. You can't just stay complacent. You can't be comfortable. You got to get uncomfortable, and you've got to go after it. Going after it every single day of your life is so important right now. Setting yourself back because you're afraid, because you don't understand. There's a lot of things that none of us understand, but that doesn't mean you stop sometimes. You got to learn as you go. You got to make the sacrifices every single day of your life. Stop depending on other people.
We are not made to survive, we're made to thrive. Human beings, our spirit, our capacity to adapt, our ability to grow, our ability to learn with lightning-like speed, our ability to find a way to serve others, that calling inside of us that we have as a parent or as a friend or someone who truly cares, when we put our fear aside because there's something we want to serve greater than ourselves, we all have that ability to find that passion in our life.
The tuning world is all about the predictable. It's all about predicting the future. But the quantum model of reality is about causing an effect. The moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you're empowered and feel it, you're beginning to step towards your success. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing begins. And when you love yourself and you love all of life, you'll create an equal. And now you're causing an effect. And I think that's the difference between living as a victim in your world, saying, I am this way because of this person or that thing or this experience. They made me think and feel this way. When you switch that around, you become a creator of your world, and you start saying, my thinking and my feeling is changing an outcome in my life. And now that's a whole different game, and we start believing more that we're creators of reality.
A lot of people start out with a new year and it becomes a trigger for, a possibility of a new life, but that disappears after a few disappointments, after coming up with a few New Year's resolutions that within a week or two they've already broken. I'm here to talk to you about just the simple core of what you and I are made for. We are not made to survive. We're not made to manage our pain or get through it. We're made to be creators of our lives. We can create anything we can dream about, we can create. And I know that sounds like positive thinking, just BS, but in your soul, there have been times in your life, I know, when you've had something that you wanted so much. Maybe you wanted something for someone you care about. Maybe you wanted something for yourself, but you became so obsessed with something, achieving it, experiencing it, whether it was a transformation, in yourself, a change in your business, making a certain amount of money, getting a job, increase of some position, increase. Maybe it was doing something for your mom or your dad or your kids. Somewhere in your life, you've gotten obsessed enough to really want to create something, then you may not even know how you were going to do it, but you just wanted it, desired it, and you started all of a sudden taking action, and you got insights. And before you knew it, what used to be just this impossible dream became a reality. Is it fair to say that at some stage in your life that there are some things today in your life that were once just a dream or a goal, that once seemed difficult or impossible, whether it be the job you have or the relationship you're in and might be taking for granted? Is there anything in your life today that was once like that? Well, then you and I are creators. And very often when we get overwhelmed by so many things and we feel out of control by, we start getting into being managers of our life, managing our pain, managing through the situation.
If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you're left with the old memories of the past and you will be predictable in your life. And if you wake up in the morning and you're not being defined by a vision in the future, as you see the same people and you go to the same places and you do the exact same thing at the exact same time, it's no longer that your personality is creating your personal reality. Now your personal reality is affecting or creating your personality. Your environment is really controlling how you think and feel unconsciously, because every person, everything, every place, every experience has a neurological network in your brain. Every experience that you have with every person produces an emotion. So some people will use their boss to reaffirm their addiction to judgment. They'll use their enemy to reaffirm their addiction to hatred. They'll use their friends to reaffirm their addiction to suffering. So now they need the outer world to feel something. So to change then is to be greater than your environment, to be greater than the conditions in your world. And the environment is that seductive. So then, why is meditation the tool? Well, let's sit down, let's close our eyes. Let's disconnect from your outer environment. So if you're seeing less things, there's less stimulation going to your brain. If you're playing soft music or you have earplugs in, less sensory information coming to your brain, so you're disconnecting from your environment. If you can sit your body down and tell it to stay like an animal, stay right here. I'm going to feed you when we're done. You can get up and check your emails. You can do all your texts, but right now, you're going to sit there and obey me. So then, when you do that properly, and you're not eating anything or smelling anything or tasting anything, you're not up experiencing and feeling anything, you would have to agree with me that you're being defined by a thought, right? So when the body wants to go back to its emotional past, and you become aware that your attention is on that emotion, and where you place your attention is where you place your energy, you're siphoning your energy out of the present moment into the past, and you become aware of that. And you settle your body back down in the present moment, because it's saying, well, it's 8 o'clock. You normally get upset because you're in traffic around this time. And here you are sitting, and we're used to feeling anger, and you're off schedule. Oh, it's 11 o'clock, and you usually check your emails and judge everybody. Well, the body's looking for that predictable chemical state. Every time you become aware that you're doing that, and your body is craving those emotions, and you settle it back down into the present moment, you're telling the body it's no longer the mind, that you're the mind. And now your will is getting greater than the program. And if you keep doing this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, just like training a stallion or a dog, it's just going to say, I'm going to sit. And the moment that happens, and the body's no longer the mind, when it finally surrenders, there's a liberation of energy. We go from particle to wave, from matter to energy, and we free ourselves from the chains of those emotions that keep us in the familiar past. And we've seen this thousands of times. In fact, we can actually predict it now on a brain scan.
There are many ways to get the things that we want for ourselves in our lives. But basically, it all begins with how we choose to think. As you think, so shall you be. 7 little words that I think are perhaps the most important things that we can learn and master in our lives. This old proverb notion that I become what I think about all day long. And once you know that what you think about is what expands, you start getting real careful about what you think about. You don't allow your thoughts to be on anything that you don't want, or that you wouldn't want to have manifest or show up for you in your life.
Why would a city known for its great economy over all these years go bankrupt? Why would they go bankrupt? Unwise decisions that probably started years before. Why would a family choose to buy a house that they know that they cannot afford, but they're going to buy it anyway? Unwise decision. Why would a person marry just for sexual fulfillment, not thinking about other things? Unwise decision. Why would a person drink alcoholic beverage in front of their children early in life, leaving them an image of their dad, sometimes being drunk, thinking nothing of the consequence? Very unwise decision. When you think about the kind of life that you're living, would you say that the decisions that you're making are wise or unwise? And we could go through life thinking about all the decisions that people make. For example, they stack up credit on their credit cards to the point that they know they can't make the payments. Why do they do that? Unwise decisions. Before you make any decision, you should always ask this question. Is this the wisest thing to do? There's always an answer. Is this the wisest thing to do? Whether it's marriage, or whether it's something financial, or health, or whatever it might be, is this the wisest thing to do? That's always the right question. Whether it's major or minor, is this the wisest thing to do? But living wisely is the best life. Wisdom is a gift from God. Living unwisely is a very expensive lifestyle to every aspect of our life.
Year after year after year, I'm international. Year after year after year, I'm putting in that work, and I wake up one day, and what number am I as a speaker? Am I number 10 in the world? Am I number 5 in the world? Just take a guess what number you think I am. Number 1 in the world.
You don't try to think of a million. You just do this $10 thing you got over and over and over. You're sitting on money, man. That's how you get rich.
This anger means I have a message here, a signal. Signals I need to change either my perception or my procedure. Maybe you don't need to change your perception. Maybe they really are rejecting you deliberately. Maybe the procedure is not only how you communicate, but how you're behaving. Maybe you need to look and say, you know, I'm not treating this person in a very loving way. No wonder they're giving me this feedback. I need to change me. Are you following me so far?
If you look at your life, and if you're not getting what you want, you owe it to yourself to do something differently. You are, if you're on a job 8 to 5, they say, of Americans go to jobs that you're unhappy. If you're doing something 8 hours a day that you don't like, it's not giving you what you want, it's not giving you a strong feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment. You're miserable, you hate to go there, you're depressed just thinking about it. You're saying that thank God it's Friday. Song every week. If that's what it is, you owe it to yourself to start strategically working. To change directions, see, but you know what most people will do. Most people will resist change.
I passed Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar. Nobody paid me to do this. I just got up and gave 120%. And when you give 120, that's what happened. You become number 1 in the world. I want to ask you a question, seriously. What percentage are you giving? So we're going to start here. You like, I'm giving 120, bro. I don't got no more to get at Panthers. I gave everything I got. I have no more to give. Like, I really put 120 into this. Do me a favor, don't lie, because we're not giving out no awards for this. So raise your hand if you're giving 120. Like, I ain't got no more to give, E. Good, I see you. I see you, E. I'm giving 100, E. I know I'm just doing at least what Coach want me to do. I'm doing everything Coach want me to do.
Quit trying to figure out how to make a million. Take something, a $10 idea, and just do it, and keep praying about it. Keep asking God to show you the next level. Keep asking God for strength when it looked like you ain't gonna make it. When I was homeless, it looked like I wasn't gonna make it. I kept praying about it, kept asking God to come get me. I kept leaning on my mama. Man, she said, he didn't bring you this far to leave you. I kept hearing her say that. You know, I could have gave up a long time ago, but I never gave up. I just kept fighting. God is going to come through and do what he say he going to do, but you got to give him something to work with. If you do that, God will change your whole life. I dare you to try it. I dare you to take your gift.
Good, hands down. I'm giving about 90%, E, I'm gonna be real. I'm giving about 90%. Let me see your hand. Yep, I feel you, I see you. Yep, E, I'm talented, bro. For real, for real. I know I look sweet out there, but I'm probably giving about 80% of my effort. Let me see your hands. I'm giving about 80%. Let me see your hand. 70%. Let me see your hand. All right, let's go back, because I saw some people didn't raise their hand. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So let's go back again. Like, maybe you didn't hear what I said. I said, like, I need you for you, not for me. I need you for you to admit where you are. Because once we go back out, my goal is to come here and take you to that next level. So when I came after 212 and I came back, some stuff happened after the next year and the next year. And that's what we're hoping to happen again. I feel like Coach don't play with me. He bring me in when he know he got a good group and they just need to make a couple adjustments and they go to the Super Bowl. So let's start all over again. You giving 120, bro, flat out. You ain't got no more to give. Let me see your hand. You ain't got no more to give. I see you. Yeah.
And do it over and over and over. Watch what he do. Because your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. Don't say nothing about your passion or your education. Your gift. If you do that, God will change your life. For just your life, your kids, your job, your house, your food, your clothes, your money, your car, your husband, your boyfriend. And then immediately after that, you'll have a better day. And then watch, he start giving you more stuff. Whatever you made $10,000 doing, I need you to do it 10 more times. What you tripping for? If you do it 10 more times, you got $100,000. Now you might have to hire some people to make this happen. You got to figure that part out. But all you got to do is do what you did for $10. Once you make $100,000, if you just do it 10 more times.
Most people will fight change as if change would be worse than what they're experiencing. See, they know this, they're familiar with this. Most people will not challenge the unknown. They won't just step out there, see they well. See, there are certain things that's got to be in place. They got to see it all together. And life isn't like that. That's not how you grow. So as you look at your life, you're saying, I'm not getting what I want. As you begin to look toward the future, begin to know that whatever it takes for you to create that, you've got that in you. You've got genius in you. You've got goodness in you.
So we're always getting the message. We're identifying the signal. We're appreciating the message and knowing the message is telling us we either need to change our perception or our procedure. The way we're communicating, the way we're behaving.
See, I believe the most powerful force in the world is to be consistent with the thoughts, ideas, concepts, and beliefs you hold to be true about yourself. That is what identity is. Identity is the governor on every single area of your life. It literally sets the temperature for all of the conditions of your life. That says we know what we are, but not what we may be.
Get going. It's a major key. You got to get going. You got to take action. The disciplines is the miracle process. And here's how to get the miracle of your future going as far as disciplines are concerned. Number one, do what you can. You might go home and set a whole new pace for yourself, and we call it cleaning up neglect. Should walk around the block, could walk around the block for your good health. Don't walk around the block. See, you're on the wrong track. Should read, could read, don't read. On the wrong track. Should call, could call, don't call. On the wrong track. Could change, should change, don't change. You're on the wrong track. Letters you haven't written, conversations you haven't had with your family, somebody you should sit down with when you get back home, get that job done. Don't let neglect destroy your days, destroy your life, and destroy your future. Go back and do what you can.
You've got creativeness in you if you decide to take the initiative to change the current quality of your life. I say to you that you will find that the universe is on your side, that life is on your side. Now will it be turbulent? Yes. Would it be easy? No, no. Will you have some opposition? Yes. Will I make a lot of mistakes? Yes. Will I get hurt? Yes. Yes, see, a lot of people won't try anything different in life because they don't want to get hurt.
Getting what you really want and being able to attract it into your life. What we have to look at is basically the obstacles that we have conditioned ourselves. You notice I say that we have conditioned ourselves, because I've never believed that we need to be putting the responsibility on someone else. If you're conditioned, it's because you have allowed yourself to become that. And if we've conditioned ourselves to believe certain kinds of things, and one of the things that we kind of believe and hang on to and live with is this whole idea that all of the things that happened to me in my past are what are keeping me from doing what I'd like to do today.
Life is meant to be lived joyously. It truly is. If you're doing and living a life that's not joyous and happy, something is wrong and you need to make a change.
And if you'll do what you can, then life will give you some extraordinary things to do. We all pity the man, right? Wants to stride out of his house, go straighten out the corporation, has not yet straightened out his garage. You got to take care of the small disciplines before life will give you a chance to handle the more complicated disciplines. Good phrase to take home. All disciplines affect each other. In fact, here's a good philosophical phrase. If you hadn't thought of it before, here it is. Everything affects everything else. It's so easy to be casual and say, well, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. Of course, some things matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Let us not neglect. Do not neglect the smallest of disciplines and build on that foundation, and you can have everything you could possibly want.
Let me tell you something. It's too much pain to duck. Pain is everywhere. You can hide under here. It will come. Where you are, it's everywhere. Viktor Frankl calls it unavoidable. Suffering. You can't duck it, but most people spend their life not wanting to deal with the pain of rejection, the pain of defeat, the pain of being disappointed, the pain of losing, the pain of failure, the pain of being criticized, the pain of not being. Lack the pain that's called life. Life is full of pain. It's everywhere. Guess what? There's no gain without pain.